Obviously, a lot of good things I think out here. Anytime you go good's good, good against good, you know that you're going to have success and you're going to have failure. The key is how they respond. And I thought throughout the course of the day, guys that maybe had a play that they wish they could have back came back and did some good things, especially at the quarterback position. I think all three of those guys, ended up on positive notes. Going to have some plays that they wish they had back, but you guys probably saw what we had seen all camp. Both of them at times played very, very well. I think overall, at running back, obviously when Monty gets back, it's going to be a different story, but very excited about what Melvin did today, and James, and even Vontae got in the mix there a little bit. I thought overall at the wide receiver and tight end position, the main two deep guys caught the ball pretty well today, especially some deep balls, which was encouraging because that hadn't been always the case to this point. And then defensively, really when you get Chris Boland taken out of there and Mike Taylor, Chris played the beginning part of the scrimmage, but as you start taking out some key guys like that, things start to go a little bit south, but I was really happy with what they did. With that, I think we came out pretty significant. David Gilbert strained an oblique, but that was really the only thing of any nature out there for the scrimmage.
Did Taylor do much today?
Taylor didn't do anything today. We opted to sit him out the last 3 days. Let him. I know he ran this morning, ran very, very well. Probably could have, but I just felt where he's at, let's get him in the next Monday and go from there.
What's Fenton's issue?
AJ started having some back irritation. I would say early last week, and kind of some numbness in his legs. So he's had a few doctor's appointments. They're going to give him some things that our guys have had in the past with some back issues. Hopefully he'll get back some point next week.
What is your two deep at receiver?
You know what? It's a good question, Tom. Tomorrow after our meeting, I'll probably be able to tell you. I think that there's a host of guys in there. Obviously, Abby's at a kind of different category, but then you have Duck, you have Manessa. I'm going to forget somebody, but Jordan Frederick had a nice play today. AJ Jordan has caught the ball probably as good as anybody outside of Abby throughout the fall camp. So I think he's a guy that's in the mix there. And there's some guys that are probably on the outside looking in. Marquise, I don't think is ready to play at this level at any way right now. Other than that, Chase Hammond had a nice couple catches today, one deep ball. So it's like there's 6, 7 guys vying for like 2 or 3 spots, and it's fun to watch it.
Have you seen enough from Isaiah Williams since he's been back that he could get in the mix?
He could, Tom. Obviously with NCAA rules, he was at a point today where he couldn't be full pads. He will be with us next week, and the one thing he's got right now is fresh legs. He's kind of going at a different rate than everybody else, but yeah, he's got a chance to mix it up as well.
Before the scrimmage, it looked like Drew Meyer
hit the ball well.
Yeah. Not only with Pooches and hitting it well. How has he looked at overall in camp?
I think he's looked good. I've kind of said it here a couple times. He's really getting the ball to turn over well. Getting some great distance, but he's really getting good hang time, which, anytime you get that combination, good things happen. So we're very, very happy with where that's at right now.
But his Pooches today?
Pooches were huge. That's probably one of our biggest success stories in the last 2 years is ball placement for our defense, and then also down on the flip side, red zone turning touchdowns into red zone field goals, not touchdowns. Or touchdowns, not field goals.
Conversely, French.
Saw my wife. I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
French looks like he struggled a little.
Yeah. On the flip side of it, Jack Russell did extremely well, and going into it fall camp, we thought it was wide open. Kyle obviously did very well last year in those first 4 games, so you kind of believe that those things are going to come out. But as we all know, kickers go through phases, and right now, Jack hit the ball extremely well today.
Marcuson's been mixing and matching on the line, but Costigan got a lot of work this at right guard. Has that been solidified yet, or what's that?
I wouldn't say it's 100% solidified, but we did feel Kyle had shown us enough that if we just give him more rep, he's going to get to where we want to be. The jockeying really came with that second group because we want to make sure if we didn't have somebody in there at right tackle, we want to give the twos a shot. But there's a guy, Ray Ball, did a nice job coming in here today, and so it's kind of fun to see those guys grow.
Did Kyle build today off what he did?
I would refer, Jeff, I was kind of. Right guard's the last position I was kind of looking at. Get that one on film.
Are you going to be ready to name a quarterback Wednesday?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think even as I feel during the course of the week and going through today, I think I know where it's going. And the proof are. There's a lot of numbers that are very similar, but there's some things that jump out that are big. And I think for us to have success here at Wisconsin, our running back is going to be more than adequate. I think we'll piece together our throwing game today was pretty good. I think a lot of people probably are going to walk out of here impressed with what happened in the throwing game today, and I think we just got to have somebody that manages that whole situation as best as possible.
Would one of those things be not turning the ball over?
I think that's very important, but also just that Q's a different guy now. He's different than anybody else. All those other 10 guys on the field, he's kind of like your middle linebacker on defense. You get the right guy, and that whole thing goes in the right direction. That right person can make that whole group special.
Speaking of that, did Stave get put on scholarship now?
He did. Yep.
Okay.
He was going on already, but just because of an unfortunate deal with losing a couple kids and really a couple guys in limbo right now, and some guys transferring out, obviously it opened up a couple scholarships.
Is anything solidified on Joey Brennan yet?
Joey has told me at least where he's going. I don't know if I can comment.
But he is.
Yeah.
How antsy is Monte getting, having to watch?
I think today he's probably more heightened awareness than ever before. He's doing a nice job catching the ball well. He's real light on his feet. I think when he does finally get out there, I think pretty much Monday. I just told the team afterwards that was our last 2-a-day yesterday. I'm going to switch to 1-a-days on Monday and work ourselves through the next 2 weeks. I think Monday you're going to see a very excited 28 out there.
Did Danny's experience show it all today?
Danny did some nice things, just like the other two did at times. I think the part that Danny brings to the table is he learns very quickly. He's in a new system, kind of, but he's really not been in any longer than the two other guys. But the thing that shows with Danny probably is the fact that he has started a number of games, and that preparation factor, you can kind of see it.
You have not seen your 3 starting linebackers together much going all the way back to spring. At what point does that become a concern?
Yeah, I saw him the first week, and that's why it's not a concern. I saw him the first week, Chris, Army, and Mike, that whole first week, just really, it's very tough on an offense when those guys are playing well and at 100%. So I just wanted to keep repping Chris because he's getting better literally with every rep, just seeing things. It's something I've gone back now the last couple of months and told people that you're going to see a big jump in the ability that Chris Borland brings to the table.
Is Landish comparable like to Sorensen as a fourth guy that you can plug in anywhere?
I think that's fair to say, except for not to offend Blake, but Landish is probably a lot quicker and a lot more athletic. I love Blake, gave us a lot of great reps. But I think Landish is very special in the fact that he's training at will just because we think that a year from now when Mike leaves, that he's going to be able to pop in that role and play extremely well. But he's probably our next best Mike. He's probably our next best Sam. Another guy that's similar to that, I would say Ethan's a lot more like Blake. Ethan can play the Sam, the Mike, and even in a pinch play the Will.
I saw you talking to some kids, obviously the kid mentor day.
This is part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters, something I've been involved with since I took over as a head coach. And actually there's 30 of these kids, and these are all kids that have been able to accomplish a certain academic element during their summer, whether it's reading a certain number of books or passing a certain class that they were involved with the Big Brothers Big Sisters. And they contacted us. I met with them last spring, and this is the culmination here today, and we were able to have our kids give them a backpack, and I think they're actually more excited about the poster than the backpack, but it shows priorities between the ages of 7 and 12.
Arneson, do you expect him back?
Yeah, Arnie's going to have a little procedure here in the next couple days, and if everything goes as planned, he should be back within 5 days.
What kind of body part?
Indeed, he's got an old one, but it's something that has been existing. It just probably flared up, and they opted to go in and clean it up now.
Next to running back, is tight end your deepest position on offense?
I tell you, I think Brian Wozniak's father was here, and I kind of floored him because I do think that I probably have 3 tight ends right now better than I've ever had here. And I'm not saying one's better than the other, and I'm not saying one's better than all the guys that have come behind us, but the group of those 3 are very special between Woz, Ped, and obviously Arnie.
Was Wozniak able to go full today? Because he's been
he's been just a little bit flaring up here and there, but today I think he was full go. We didn't rep him. I don't think he got all 44 plays, but been very good. And then I tell you, Austin Traylor and Brock DeSico are right there, and Brock DeSico's brought a lot to the table the last 2 weeks that I didn't really see coming until now.
So with Woz, it's still what he had last spring, the sports room.
Yeah, yep. It's a little bit flared up.
One of the rules changes we haven't talked much about is the helmet coming
Yeah.
on. Do you think that could be a big, and how much have you emphasized that to the guys?
It's huge, but last year in a game of play, the University of Wisconsin lost 3 helmets the whole year. There were teams that had 30, 40. I mean, they kept track, every one. And so Mark Peeler should get all Big Ten equipment manager. But we just don't have a lot of that coming up. That's why when I kind of was sitting on a rules committee, I was blown away with the number of times people's helmets came off. There were times where plays came off back to back, and they were slipping them on, slipping them off, and it really is for player safety. Now, the thing that concerns me and alarms me is it's 10 seconds on the clock. Jared Abadaris, runs a go route and catches it on the 4-yard line. Maybe they didn't even touch him. He lands on the ground, and the trauma causes the helmet to pop off. They now can run a 10-second rule. Ball's on the 4-yard line, you're down by 1 point. You lose the game without ever kicking that field goal because the helmet came off. So we're putting a huge emphasis on buckling it up. we always say, hey, sometimes you know, for those of you guys who play football, you may not even know your chin strap's unbuckled. So we're telling our guys, hey, buckle them up. You know, so there's a huge emphasis on it from our guys. Hasn't been a problem for us in the past, but the thing that drove it was there was a lot of plays where guys would lose their helmets. They'd start chasing. There was one play where the D-line was chasing, a guy came and blocked him. Guy got concussed, and I mean, just really dangerous stuff.
A better idea of some true freshmen that could play after this scrimmage at all?
You know, yes and no. I think we came into today with a thought, you know, Reggie Love, Dan Volz, Vontae Jackson. I think that's it on offense. You know, on defense, you know, really, Reggie Mitchell is a guy that we kind of thought out a little bit. Vince Beagle, we don't know where he's going to be back. You know, coming forward, and I think that's about it, other than Jack Russell, obviously, is a specialist. There are a couple kids that we feel might be valuable enough to play him on all 4 phases of the kicking game, and you know, they might be in a reserve role on offense or defense. They could add in that mix.
Do you like Vontae in special teams?
I do like Vontae in special teams. I think he's a good athlete. I think he's got the ability to do a lot of different things. He's going to be really happy when they tell him he can take that knee brace off. But I do think our redshirt freshman class, seeing guys walk by like Darius Hillary, A.J. Jordan, Devin Golden, you know, a number of guys on both sides of the ball, that was a really good class for us, and I think they're going to really help us out.
Do you think the field goal competition's open back up, do you think, after today?
I didn't think it was ever closed, but you know, Kyle obviously has game experience, and that's something. But Jack Russell's a very impressive kid. We all saw what he did at Wanakee. I saw what he did in the state championship game. I heard what he did in the All-Star game, and there's just something to those type of guys. You know, I think back when Taylor Melhoff came in here, and actually one of the first guys that got in my ear about Jack Russell was Taylor Melhoff, because they had worked together, you know, independently, and kind of impressed me that he would say those type of things.
In what phase would you see Vontae maybe contributing in special teams?
Well, I mean, you know, he's a guy, kickoff return punt, and kickoff coverage. He's got one of those bodies that athletically he can run very fast, plays with good balance, pretty smart kid. So those kind of guys we can't get enough of.
Why did you close the scrimmage?
You know what? I wanted to be able to have our guys hear from me on Sunday how they played and what they did. I just felt that in today's world, you know, and I don't mean to limit the job that you guys can do or anything like that. It's just the fact that I really want guys to hear it from their coach's mouth how they played. And I think in the interpretation of what you guys see and the reality of what we really believe as coaches, it gets lost in between there, and that's really what it is. I'm trying to give you as much access, and we'll give you some sugar along the week here to get you access. But our job as coaches is to evaluate the talent and put them in the position they need to be. And sometimes I don't want outside fodder coming into that.
Did that plan to only 5 open practices too? That's significantly fewer than past.
Yeah, but also just the way the calendar works, I kind of wanted to figure out who our 2 deep was. You know, during these first 10 days, we'll actually meet tomorrow, have a huge personnel meeting, just like we did last Sunday, and kind of move ourselves forward. Last week when we were able to practice during the evenings, we did a lot of stuff in the evenings we couldn't do during the day because of your guys' presence. So it allows us to do those things.
Wrinkles up your sleeve?
Possibly. That's why they're wrinkles.